película, todo el proceso, ¿qué ha significado para él? ¿Cómo me lo describiría todo?
Okay, after shooting the film, what does it mean the film for you?
What does it
means?
What does it mean, the film?
Yes, the importance of the film on your life, I mean.
Yeah, well, first of all, kind of relief, because it takes, years to make a film, and I've been writing, like I say, for many years. So it's great to finally have it out there and have audiences enjoy it, because that's why I make movies, is for people to enjoy movies and and hopefully enjoy the film. I'm immensely proud of the film. I think the fact that Robert and the rest of the cast do such a great performance, and that people have responded to that is great. I'm very, very proud of that. And that's it.
Okay. Vale, que sintió bastante alivio porque lleva bastantes años filmando un film y que está contento porque finalmente tiene una audiencia que se divierte viendo las películas, está orgulloso de la película y del resto de personajes, del casting y eso.
Bueno, me gustaría también saber cuál es la parte que más trabajo le ha costado de la película y también su parte favorita.
Okay. Which is the part that it was more difficult to shoot, or?
What can I say? So probably two things. When the film sort of descends into being a thriller, where all the fluffiness and lights is gone, I planned this shot that kind of marks that, which is the shot that kind of moves around the cinema and around the foyer as all the lights turn off in kind of sequence, and then travels down that corridor and then sees Finn turn. And that's like one shot, there's no editing, there's no special effects, like we did that in camera. So that was a very technical shot to do, because it involved lots of different things like steady cam and a crane, and I think there was about 33 lighting cues that had to turn off or change at the right moment as the camera passed away to start again. So technically that was the most difficult. And then emotionally, maybe the scene with Finn and the gun over the counter, because it was really important that the audience was kind of with him in that moment, and trying to make that as real as possible given the circumstances he was under, because I knew that I would kind of lose the audience if we didn't get that right, and hopefully we did.
Can you repeat which scene was the second one? Yes, not all.
The second one. It was when Finn Martin has got the gun and he's pointing it at the guy behind the counter, and it's quite a tense, highly emotional scene. Yeah.
Okay. Luego le pregunto cuál es la favorita. Vale, dice que técnicamente la más difícil fue esta escena en la que las luces se apagan, se encienden, porque es una escena muy técnica, que hay que mover la cámara, volver a empezar si sale mal, tener en cuenta muchas cosas de la luz, y que emocionalmente fue esta escena que le estaba apuntando a él con una pistola, porque es una escena muy, muy tensa. She also wants to know which is your favorite scene of the movie.
My favourite scene of the movie? Oh wow. Scene of the movie. So many. No, that sounds really bad. My favourite scene, those two scenes, I'm pleased with. I think there's other scenes where sequences where it all starts to kind of come together towards the end, when Stuart is playing them off each other in terms of controlling what Martin's doing downstairs in the foyer, and not having Emily's character kind of walk in and reveal everything. It's quite a complicated thing to put together, but I think the sequence hopefully is really thrilling. You don't quite know what's happening. That sort of countdown sequence I quite like, that leads us onto the roof. That whole build-up, that was fun to put together.
Ok, bueno, que estas escenas que dijo antes le gustan mucho, pero que también le gusta mucho, a ver si lo he entendido bien, cuando están echando estas escenas, están Can you repeat because
Sorry, it's a bit rambly, wasn't it? There's a sequence towards the end where there's a countdown.
The countdown.
Yeah, and it's basically where Stuart's in the CCTV room.
Okay.
Emily's gone to sort of call the police, and Martin's downstairs, and it's basically everything sort of coming to a head before it goes onto the roof. That's kind of, I like that.
Okay. Vale, pues cuando está la cuenta atrás, Stuart está en la sala de la televisión, Emily llama a la policía, entonces como se van juntando estas escenas y se van revelando todos los secretos.
Bueno, me gustaría también
What's her
saber...
favourite scene?
Me gustaría saber también cuál es su personaje favorito de terror y también qué película le hubiera gustado participar o dirigir de género.
Which is your favorite horror character, and also which movie have you like to, in the past, I mean, a film that have been played before, which is your favorite film to shoot, for example, I don't know, maybe a horror film you love or something like that.
Okay, so my favourite horror character of all time?
Yes.
Obviously Jason. No.
Yes.
Freddy Krueger, obviously. I'm a fan of Nightmare on Elm Street and Roberts in general. Hence why I'm so lucky to work with him on this film. But then films that I love to do, I really like older horrors, so things like Carrie and Rosemary's Baby, more psychological films. Don't Look Now, those are the type of films that really, the ones that mess with my head, and they're more visceral, they're more emotionally involving instead of it just being about gore and people dying and stuff, So I'd love to have done any of those films.
Obviamente su personaje favorito es Jason y también Freddy Krueger, que le hubiera gustado pues rodar películas como Carrie, La Semilla del Diablo aquí. Y bueno, que dice que sobre todo le gustan las películas de terror antiguo porque son más viscerales, que te envuelven más emocionalmente y no es simplemente gore y gente muriendo.
Sí. Bueno, también me gustaría saber cuál es su mayor pesadilla y si el cine le ha ayudado un poco a superarla.
Which is your biggest nightmare? She also wants to know if the cinema helped you to solve this nightmare.
What's my biggest nightmare in terms of?
In general.
In general.
When I get to sleep?
Yes, or in your life, I don't know.
Biggest nightmare. Probably the ones where I'm lucky that I don't get many. Not anymore. Now I've grown up. I stopped watching Candyman. I think the nightmares that involve things happening to my loved ones that I can't do anything about. When you're kind of restrained, or there's something horrible happening over there, but you can't do anything about it. And then what was it about the cinema? Was it?
She wants to know if the cinema helps you to stop these nightmares.
Of course. When I think about when my older brother sat me down and showed Candyman to me when I was a kid, and I was petrified. I couldn't look in the mirror, I couldn't do the whole rhyme thing. My brother would, I'd just freak out. And obviously now I make movies, I understand the magic of them and stuff, and it's harder to be scared, by a film kind of now. I think films, as an audience member, are about escape, aren't they? They're about escapism, and they take us to places or make us feel things that we wouldn't necessarily feel in, an ordinary life, and that's fun.
Okay, wait a second. Que sí que le han ayudado a solucionarlo. Por ejemplo, recordaba cuando era pequeño y veía a Candyman, que después miraba un espejo, se quedaba petrificado, y que claro, que sí que ayudan a solucionar estas pesadillas, porque una vez que descubres la magia del cine sabes cómo funcionan estas cosas.
Bueno, también me gustaría conocer sus referencias musicales y literarias, aparte del cine.
She would like to know your literary and musical reference.
For the film or things that I like?
Yes.
For the film.
The film. Well, obviously 1 Hour Photo was a huge, it's one of my favourite movies. So that's 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams. That was a big reference for me, and you could probably see that in the film and in the character. I really wanted to do kind of an homage to that. And then musically, when you're editing, I use so many different scores from different movies. Some horror, some not horror, some kind of even sci-fi things to try and find. You know, I really like films that have a theme, and obviously in this film, the cinema is a character in its own right. So I kind of wanted a musical motif that was the cinema itself, and hopefully we kind of pulled that off, you know, in the film.
Bueno, ya las escuchaste. Que bueno, musicalmente, editando, pues referencias de terror. Le gustan mucho películas que tienen un tema musical y bueno, editando iba combinando un poco todo eso.
Vale, mi penúltima pregunta, me gustaría saber cuál es su plan perfecto para un día de terror.
What is your perfect plan for a horror day?
For a
horror day, I mean.
A horror day?
Yes.
Of what, to sit and watch movies or to
whatever you like.
In your life.
In my life?
Yes. Let's say they tell you, let's have a horror day. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Horror day. Well, I'd get dressed up as Freddy Krueger. I do actually have a Freddy Krueger outfit. I go as Freddy Krueger every year, Halloween. And then I'd probably maybe in the morning maybe watch the more fun horror movies like Cabin in the Woods or kind of Black Sheep, or the kind of very comedy horror stuff. And then as it gets darker, I'll start to be darker in my movies. So then I'll probably get out, Elm Street and Rosie's Baby and Carrie and all those kind of films, and lots of popcorn. Lots of popcorn and a sofa to hide behind.
Bueno, eso que por supuesto vestirse de Freddy Krueger, porque todos los años se viste de Freddy Krueger, y que por la mañana vería películas de terror, pero más tipo comedia, como Cabin in the Woods,
sí.
Y luego por la noche ya Rosemary's Baby, Elm Street y todo eso.
Bueno, ya última pregunta,
Last
que si
question.
tiene algún otro proyecto entre manos.
She wants to know about your next project.
Next project? My next film is called The Four Warriors, which is very different to horror. It's a family action adventure movie, and it's kind of Game of Thrones-esque, sword fights and battles and people on a quest, so that was really fun. That was really fun to shoot. That's coming out in the summer, and I don't quite know when it's coming to Spain, but it's sometime between summer and kind of end of the year it'll come out here. That's and then I've got a film called Baptism, which is an action movie set on the London Underground, which is based on a novel, which we're raising the finance for. So that's hopefully next.
Okay. Bueno, su próximo proyecto es una película muy diferente de acción tipo tronos, con batallas, y bueno, que no sé cuándo vendrá a España, pero que a Reino Unido